see how I got balance. Alright, I'm good. I always gotta check the balance because I don't test this. I forgot to change my background. I have a pretty red one I made. Oh well. It is what it is. I wanted to do something different. And I'm inspired by DD Dysfunctional's generous offering of... My mic's a little low. Okay. Let's see where we're at. I don't want to go too high. Am I just talking low? Was I just talking low? Is this better now? Okay, cool. I turn it up a little bit. I have a new noise suppressor filter on because the fan on my new laptop is so loud. And I love it because I know that means it's working. But yeah, I put a new filter on, so thank you. Hopefully it's good. Of course, when I talk low, I gotta remember to project. Yeah, my friend Dee Dee Dysfunctional, she's been in the chat before, swung by today to have a personal crisis conversation with me to help me understand man things that I don't understand. And she was like, here, I thought you might like this wig. And I was like, I love this wig. I'm gonna wear it. Yeah, I don't understand man things, and I don't know what I did. What I said. And, thank you, Virgil. I really like it. So some people know, a lot of people don't know that I'm having bariatric surgery on the 29th. And I've been having like a lot of thyroid issues, and they think I have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disorder that affects the thyroid. And then I have all these food allergies. So my hair has not been in the best condition. And as I was trying to grow it out again after cutting it short, I realized it was like thinning and like really just flat. And I was like, this is not good. I don't want to grow it out like this. This isn't pretty. So I decided that I would just cut it really short and just kind of deal with the pixie cut while I go through all of this. And then once I'm stabilized, my hair should grow back out better and not have like all that extra work to do because I've been, trying to force it. So my solution was, it's like, I should just get some wigs, and she just happened to find this and show up with it, so I was like, perfect. So yeah, I'll just randomly wear wigs now. That's my thing now. That's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go probably buy some more because I like it. And I'm super, thank you, yeah, I'm super excited. I accidentally started my pre-op diet a few days early, and then like after I got through the worst part of it, I realized that I was a few days early, and I had like 2 days that I could wait, and then it just didn't make sense to do that. It was like, well, you already got through the worst part of it. It's like, yeah, okay, you can have like a little bit of slack, but like you really shouldn't. I didn't want to start over at that point, so I'm like, no, now we're in the thick of it. I just got all my liquid meds, chewable meds. Yeah, I was wrong on the date, and I was just like, well, it is what it is now, what it is. And now I'm used to it, like 700 calories a day. It's insane. And I'm not hungry though, so I was like, okay, this is good. I can do this. But I'm excited. Okay, so quick backstory. I've like never been skinny, ever. I was actually when I was little, up until I was about 7, 8 years old. I started having a lot of respiratory problems. So I wasn't as active as a lot of kids were, and my parents were not the pictures of dietary and nutritional wisdom that one might need to survive. So we had a lot of meat and potatoes, okay? Lots of gravy and bread, fried stuff and whatnot. You know, might get a can of peas for a veg. Uh, very, very typical. Um, so they tried a few rounds of steroids when I was like 8 years old in a row. Like their theory was 3 months on, 3 months off. And they were like, yeah, like this is gonna, boost the kid's immune system and whatnot. And really what it did is it made me gain 100 pounds by the time I was 9 years old. And I've never lost that 100 pounds. Like I've gotten to where I still needed to lose 100 pounds, which is where I'm at. Well, I'm a little bit below that right now, but it's been a long life being a heavy person, and just decided that I'm done with that. I don't want to do that anymore. And now that I've got the medical issues figured out, and I took the time to work on all that stuff throughout this pandemic, and then I got into the bariatric program to help lose weight, and then they were like, yeah, you're actually a really good candidate for surgery if you want it. And I was like, no, let's say we're gonna do it, and then like when I get to that point, like then I'll decide if I want it. So 15 months of consistently losing weight, and I got like 50 pounds lost. That has been the hardest shit ever. That's really low calories, actually. Like, yeah, 1200, 1500 is usually really good. But what you want to do is go low carb, but try to find like lean protein. And if you're not a meat eater, you can go with like tofu and chickpeas, or like black beans are good too. Or just like a lean meat. Go as much, like try to get like more than 50 grams of protein in a day, and keep your carbs under 100. Your calories can be closer to like 1500 at that point, because that'll just kind of start the ketosis process. You just got to keep your carbs low, and then like fill it with veggies, as much veggies as you want. But that's pretty much what I do, and that works really good. And then I have to work out 30 minutes 5 days a week. It's all part of the program, like sticking with it, and it's working. So because I got up pretty heavy anyway. So enough of my weight loss journey, but a lot of tonight's reading like resonated for me. And oh my god, I fucking love potatoes, and I can't have potatoes anymore. I live in Michigan. We like potatoes. I know you live in Pennsylvania. You like potatoes too. So it's like there's just certain places where potatoes are a real thing. It's like, so yeah. Yeah, I get it. No, trust me. Like on my like last meal, I wanted cream cheese wonton, and then like I realized that I didn't have to have my last meal yet. So I decided I'd have like a little bit of a splurge, but still stay within my diet that I would have eaten before. But the splurge was a couple little red potatoes with some like broccoli. And so good. Yeah, I ate hearty. That's right, I did. Ate myself right into. Apparently, I had a mini heart attack at some point. I looked at my EKGs, and they were like, yeah, so remember when you were having a hard time? Looks like you had like a little thing going on in your heart back then. You're fine now. You're good now. I'm like, oh, that's thanks. I'm glad I didn't die. Good job finding that. When you told me that I was just fat and lazy, and I should, just exercise more. And I was like, I'm trying, and I can't breathe. I hate the medical system. Being fat in the medical system and a woman is absolutely atrocious. I can't even imagine being a person of color, or a member of the LGBTQ community in the medical, because just where I'm sitting, just being fat, chronically ill woman. Oh Jesus. So yeah, it's rough. That's the only thing that's wrong with you, I mean, to their credit, like, I understand how much better some things do get when you take the weight off your body. But it's important to make sure that there isn't a reason that the person's just gaining weight. Not everybody's just sitting there eating all day. I gained 100 pounds with my medication. Like, there should have been some kind of intervention there and been like, you know what, let's get this kid into physical therapy or something. Like, let's make sure this kid's getting proper exercise and nutritional guidelines so that their whole life isn't ruined by being fat. So, but yeah, the idea of standing in front of the mirror and realizing that I'm a third of the person that I was, basically. A little under, it's more than a half, but yeah, it's more than half by the time I'm done. It's insane. But anyway, body image issues. A lot of my depression stems from body dysmorphic disorder. It's always been a problem for me to like look in the mirror and I just like, that's not my body. I didn't do that. What the fuck has happened here? So that's always been like a thing, and then I've had to work through that recently and like think about the world at large and like make sure that I still like myself in the world after when spending your whole life one way and then seeing it differently. People can be different and they can treat you different. And I've seen it happen to other people, so it's not like an unreal, like, oh, you're crazy, Nikki. Like, I've been through therapy. We've had these conversations. These people talk to bariatric patients. It's a real problem. They're friends. People treat them different. So sometimes your friends change and stuff. Just stuff that you prepare for mentally. But at any rate, a lot of this reading is about preparing for some changes. There's a lot of really empowering stuff in there, though. So I'm gonna get into it and not keep talking about myself. Definitely resonated with me personally, though. So I probably will add some anecdotes here along the way. You know, the only thing about the wig that I don't like is that there's a little bit of like pressure on my head. I'm not used to that. I'm a little bit tender-headed. That's what my mom used to say when she combed my hair mean. Mad at my dad shit. So, I got that thin hair that snarls up. She just... Oh. Anyway. I hope she doesn't watch these. She probably doesn't. So where are we starting with? First card up. It's gonna fucking act weird. You can't see shit, so I'll have to look in that camera. I'm gonna get one of these custom made, so I have like me as the big window, and then just one very big card window. I'm getting it like in the works. It's gonna look really good. I can't wait because it's gonna actually be what I need versus what gamers use. Apparently not a lot of tarot readers on Twitch chat. So the Nine of Wands. This one's like, hey, you know, you have exhibited a tremendous amount of courage. You've been facing a tremendous amount of difficulties, and you've been taking them head on, one after another. It is fucking exhausting because others would have given up, and there's just like, every time it hits you, you're like, I'm not gonna give up yet. Like, I want to give up, but I'm just not gonna give up. I'm just gonna keep going. Other people would give up, and you've just decided that you're not gonna do it. So this card is acknowledging that and validating that for you. Our destiny and what happens next. I use destiny very lightly, casually, is shaped by that inner voice in our head that's telling us, where do we go from here? How do we feel about ourselves? How do we feel about what we're doing? That inner voice can be directed. Now, sometimes we're listening to it and we're going, oh, no. I can't do that. It's insane. Every time, there's certain things that pop up and it goes, you should do this because you really want to. And then I go, oh, no, I'm not doing that. Oh no, terrified. Your fears are coming to the surface, and that's where a lot of these difficulties are coming from. You're facing them in one after a time, after another, and it's that transformation, and it's a process. It's a step-by-step process, and it's really fucking hard. We go through phases of growth, and then things feel really good for a while. So we do get a break. The break is coming. It's in this reading. I promise. It's in this reading. It shows you where it is. It shows you what you got to do to get there, which is not much. You're already doing what you're supposed to be doing. You want to witness the voice that's coming through. Give it time. Give it your attention, because as the pain and as these self-restrictions, I can't do that, I'm afraid to do that, I'm not good enough to do that, that's not going to work out for me, that's not logical, that doesn't make sense. As these come forward, these are dissolving, because you can actually break them down. It's just that thought process and what you're attaching it to. So you want to actually focus on allowing that to be the release of that fear, and cleansing that fear from you, and being like, oh, I'm not good enough? Who says I'm not good enough? Somebody over here is doing the same thing, and they're definitely not any better than I am, the very least. Like, why can't I? So a lot of times we're addressing like this falseness in certain fears when they come forward, and we're just kind of identifying like why that's actual trash talk, and we need to tell it to shut up. This is building resilience. It really feels like torture, but like all life is suffering. So I'm gonna get an influx of kitty cat here. All life is suffering, so we're looking for the moments of joy, right? So instead, look at it like you are a soul here at Earth School. There's actually an Earth School card that's coming up tonight. That's what you're here for. So take these lessons, because these lessons lead to those really intensely profound, amazing periods of joy. And it keeps happening over and over again, so it keeps getting better and better and better. And that's why we keep going, and that's why we keep addressing the fears, and that's why we keep taking the steps, even though it's very difficult and challenging and we're exhausted. The Nine of Wands is the reminder that you are almost there. You're still in that like last phase of being really, really fucking proficient in dealing with this shit. Especially when you put yourself in that structure and you know how to like handle the issues. You're like, I know, I want to be there now too. I do too. I'm like, just fucking. That's me right now. I'm so not in control right now of the situation, and that made me a little bit nervous, because it's not for me to say or do, and I've like, the power is no longer in my hands. So that's different for me. I like to know exactly how things are going to be. I like control, and I think your out of control will shift. There was a very long period of time where the control was a reaction to not having control. So it's trauma response, basically. And so this revelation, this is where the revelation comes in. Well, part of it was partially going, oh, I don't get to dictate this. I don't get to put the timeline on this. I can't force this. In fact, it's better if it's just falls into place the way it does. And that is terrifying to me, because what if it doesn't go the way that I want it to? And then I was like, that's the fucking point. Because you're supposed to trust that what you're getting is actually what's yours and what's best for you. And if you're trying to force it, you're not trusting it. And instead, you think of it in a non-attachment way, and you say, well, if this is supposed to occur, it just will. I can't force it anyway, but trying to obsess over those details is not doing me any good. Instead, I have to focus my thoughts on the inner struggle and the inner difficulties and why I'm triggered by these certain things. Like, and then when I addressed that, and I went, oh, I know why I don't like control of this. Or I don't like not having control of this. I get this. Okay. I can confront that specific thing and then go, okay, well, that has nothing to do with this situation. This is something that happened in my past. I just didn't address it. It has nothing to do with this. This is different. And it's not, we often attach these like negative, like if you've ever like had, no, yeah, that's the thing. But if that one's not for you to have, it has nothing to do with that person, actually. Usually I find the best way to get through this time is to literally like buckle down on your own shit. All of your own shit. If you are struggling with some emotions about a situation or a relationship or an individual or whatever the case may be, and you're feeling all these feelings, it is perfectly fine and helpful to feel your feelings. But at some point you have to say, okay, now I have to start moving again. And you have to have like a structure to return to. You have to have a yeah, that's fine, we can chat later. You know, we have to have a structure to return to so that we can, it's like that we leave that rope attached as we wander off. So then it's like, okay, I'm over here exploring my feelings, but it's very dark over here. I'm so glad I have this rope to guide me back home, because otherwise I would be lost in that dark place. That's what the structure is for. The structure is putting into place these very specific things that are for you. They're focused on you. They have nothing to do with anyone else. They're all self-improvement directed. It does not have to be work. It can also be pleasure and enjoyment. So also schedule time for yourself to unwind. Schedule time for yourself to work on hobbies, just for a hobby. Schedule time for yourself to meditate, which is both pleasure and work. To work out your body, to make sure that your meals are planned properly, and you're just very much like creating a schedule for yourself. You're a student here at Earth School, and we're gonna definitely help do the best potential learning environment by giving yourself something to get back into. Hey, Benna. Thank you. This is my experiment. I'm gonna experiment with some different looks for a while while my hair is short. Just talking about the 9 of Wands and all these difficulties we've been facing, all these fears we've been facing, and how we're addressing them head on, and we're doing an awesome job at it, and we've just got a little bit more to go. Just got to keep going. Oracle card that comes up. The oracle card that comes up is the Swan card. I love this card. It's pretty. It's pretty. Deep dive. So you think you know what's best for you right now. This card is kind of saying you actually should be digging a little bit deeper. And I was like, damn, I thought I had it. And it was like, no, you don't. Keep going. So there's some knowledge that you're not yet aware of. That's what this card is bringing to your attention, that you thought you were kind of clicking everything, but now you're going to get a little bit more info. Something else is going to sink. into place perfectly, perfect timing, and you're gonna go, oh, okay. And it's gonna really, really, really kind of be this like sigh of relief. It's beneath the surface though. It's right now you're looking at surface level and you're handling surface level stuff and you're getting into that, and you're now being asked to dig a little bit deeper into your understanding of whatever situation you're dealing with that's causing you to lose sleep or spend a lot of time feeling emotional, to understand deeper any relationships that you may be involved in. You do not want to judge by the superficial for the situation or the person what's actually happening. So it's kind of looking like a certain way, and you're kind of coming to this like, maybe it looks like this. Well, no, that's actually not the case. You're actually reading it wrong, and you need to give it a little bit more time. What's happening is it's kind of evolving into an opportunity for a much, much, much deeper potential, both for intimate love and connection and bonding, but also for forgiveness and understanding. So this deeper dive and this kind of stepping back and taking some time while you're doing these tasks, these structural tasks that keep you focused on the self for a moment, that's gonna like allow you to take your focus off of this stuff. This stuff is gonna continue going on, and you've got intentions out there that are working. So you don't need to obsess over this. What you need to do is come inside and go, okay, let me check off these little boxes. I needed to trim my toenails. I needed to, get my hair cut. I need to go through my top drawer, and throw out some old socks. You're doing these methodical things because, one, they're good habits. There's never anything bad with that. But two, it is a type of meditation. And if you watch the meditation stream, I talk about like house cleaning and stuff like that. Is when you're taking your mind off the problem, sometimes your subconscious is doing a lot more work than you're gonna realize, and then it just shows up one day. So that's what this card is about. It's like, it's gonna come. Just keep working and focused on what you need to focus on. I definitely have a cat here. So, which is very nice. She's joined us. She just wants attention. So the Queen of Cups is in our will position, our fire position. Whew. This one says you are and want to be and are trying to connect with the part of self that is truly a conduit for powerful emotion and for love, predominantly, the positive ones, the good emotions. It's showing you and pointing out and validating that you have reached and grown in your level of emotional intelligence, of your own personal awareness of your emotions, what you need, what you don't need, where your boundaries are. You're starting to get a little bit more clear ideals, and that's where some of these conflicts come from. So this card comes forward, and it's just like, there's this radiant energy that connects all things, and we have these very kind of fanciful, imaginative ideas of these possibilities for existence, and we can't really concrete anything, so there's a certain level of acceptance that we just take. We just know that we exist, and we know that there's something interesting here, and we know that there's these really interesting phenomena with energy and connection and thought and vision and manifestation, and we don't exactly understand it yet, so we just accept it. There's something there we don't know, right? Some people can't accept that. Some people say, well, it's not like an entity. Well, you're right, it's not. But do you fully understand quantum physics? Because most people do not have a factual understanding of how the universe came to be in creation from science either. So we're on the same playing field. This card calls for you to seek acceptance, and within you are feeling acceptance for what is around you. That's that seeking peace, by just accepting and understanding that you don't know how this all works. Listening deeply, we're paying very, very close attention. Less talking and more listening and more being available. It's going to be a big one because it's going to be listening to the self as well as external sources. You're trying to bridge worlds here. You're trying to bridge a world between what it is that you want and where it is that you are right now and what you feel inside right now. And what you want is out here and it exists, but we have to connect these two things. And so we have to be aware of and consciously directing the emotions that we are seeking. So you're projecting out what you're asking to come in. And this is looking to be a lot more open to your sensual side, which is a side that you might not be familiar with yet. You might be a little bit uncomfortable with. It's an extremely vulnerable side. So a lot of people do not actually reach or achieve the deep trust that's necessary in a relationship in order to really experience intimacy and sensuality. But when you get to a point where you're ready for it and you find the right situation and you attract all that into you, and then you're able to experience that, you are opening doors of the hearts that you did not know existed before. So there's a lot to look forward to in the connection department with other human beings. We're going to have some deep heart connections here, and you're going to be expressing all this through you. And this is the next part of your personal growth, involves connections with other people. So this one comes up. This is the called card in the oracle, and so it's just kind of talking about your gifts. There are things that you're naturally good at. It might be the way that you talk. It might be your artistic creations. It might be your ability to teach. It might be, how you do little examples for an individual that show them that you love them. All of these gifts that we have and that are just naturally there, that we hone and we use every day. We no longer look at gifts. They're just who we are. They are gifts, and our everyday use of them is actually preparation for what's coming next. So a lot of the things that you personally feel you are good at, that you just naturally come to you and you go, this just feels good. I don't know, I enjoy doing this. This isn't you don't even have to be perfect at it. It just feels like you enjoy it. That's gonna be one of those areas that you can focus on, and that's gonna kind of help direct you to the next level, and that's where those next connections are too. This is preparation for what's next in our life. Is the short. Too long didn't read. Too long didn't listen to Nikki talking. So, 9 of Cups. This is in the air position. So this is the one that's like, remember when we said you had to keep going? Well, because everything that you're trying to manifest is just right there. And if you stop now, you're not going to allow it to occur. Everything about this card, the 9 of Cups, is about exuberance. It's about being lavished by good things in what feels good and what you personally desire, in beauty and pleasure. This is where you reach that pinnacle of potential, and you're able to declare what it is that you want and claim it. It's no longer like, oh, I wish. It's this is what I'm having. It comes to existence by us claiming responsibility for our personal power, and no longer excuses, no longer. So if you want your relationship to be better, what are you going to do to make that happen? If you want a better job, what are you doing to make that happen? You know, we can talk about, you know, manifesting and all this, but manifesting is not this like completely out of reach thing where we just like hope that your fairy godmother shows up. Like, you can put yourself in a position for the opportunities you're looking for, but if you don't take any steps out the door, you're not going to have those opportunities. You're probably going to miss them. Yeah. Yeah, no, but that's the thing is, when you're doing the I don't ever know, you're not trusting that you deserve it. So you have to dig deep and say, well, what don't I deserve? And why don't I deserve that? Why do I think that way? Because you don't need to ask whether or not it's going to come through if you believe that you deserve it and can have it and are taking responsibility for it and owning it. It's already been granted once you take responsibility and declare that you're going to have that. So if you say, well, I don't know if you can have it, then the universe says, I don't know if you can have it either. It's like, can I have it? And they go, I don't know, can you? It's that really annoying thing. But that's really, you can have the things. There's no reason you can't. Why can't you? Why can't you have what you want in a universe that's made out of energy and you're made out of energy? There's nothing stopping you except your own doubt, except saying I might not be able to have this, and it's all overthinking. It's doing it. It's all overthinking. Taking responsibility for these things. When you get to this point, which you are getting to this point, so you don't have to overthink it. You just have to continue to take steps forward and continue inner focus and thinking on the self. We're not worried about what's going on over here. Eventually that comes where you start fixing all that. Like, that's the next step, but it starts with the inner work. And then you know exactly what you need to do and say and all that stuff. This is about regeneration and starting over. It's a new life. For some, it's a new body. For me, it's a new body, but it's also starting over in a lot of other ways. Starting new relationships, starting relationships in different ways. But overall, what this card is about is abundance and good fortune. And this good fortune comes without regret, without guilt, without shame. This is genuinely earned. So you don't have to go, well, did I deserve it? Well, yes. That's what you were doing the work for. You're doing the work for it. You'll get it. It's when you don't do the work and you don't respond to the signs that are smacking you around in the face. Yeah, you cannot punch the universe in the throat. It's not going to help. It is a very mean teacher, though. Especially because it'll call you out for shit you thought you weren't doing. I'm like, I'm not trying to control the situation. Like, oh my god, yes, I'm trying to control it. I'm trying to, like, say it. Say the thing. Like, trying to, like, make someone else speak. They're gonna speak when they fucking want to speak. And I'm like, yes. So, Niki's wearing a wig. And what else did I do today? All kinds of things. I stayed very busy today. And I did all kinds of things. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I was like, absolutely. I'm going to make all these phone calls that I need to make today. And then I did some organizing of my desk. And I put some makeup on and a cute wig. And I hung out with a friend. And did some, worked on some projects. And she was just... What does Niki need? Oh, Niki needs to work out. Yep, Niki needs to work out. Niki needs to log those calories. Because I cannot control this situation. But what I can control is me and what I'm doing and what I'm feeling, I can control that. That is what I need to be doing. And when this lines up with where I'm at, then it'll be all cookies and milk. So, what's my new thing? You can't have complete control. No, here's the thing though, like, you can steer and you can choose the boat. But there's just parts of it that, don't look the way that you think. That's the thing. And also, it's the trust the higher self to pick for you, because if you're in charge of choosing, you're going to choose less. You're not going to choose as high as you should. Decide what you want and then let the universe guide you to it, because frankly, it's probably like better at directions than you are. That's what I've learned throughout life, that honestly, every time I try to steer it, every time I try to direct it and be like, no, this is exactly what I want and I'm going to have it, and I would like make it, and it's like, oh yeah, you can have it, here you go, how you like that now? And then I always fucking regretted it every time. I'd be like, why did I do this? I can literally remember it specifically with a relationship where I was like trying to push it along at my speed, and it ended up not working out in my favor. And then another situation where it was like just not communicating the way it needed to be communicated. I was not doing my work. Yeah, you got time. Do it for health. Do it for feeling good, because it's gonna last longer that way. It will, and it does feel good. It does feel better. So the Beaver Oracle card says that in order for us to create this world that we want, in order for your life to be the way that you want it to be better, because if you're unhappy, you do want it to be better. There's something missing. We just have to connect the dots of what that actually is. But we have to lay a foundation. So all your intention, all that energy that you're putting out, this is what I want, this is what I want, the desires that you feel, what you're missing, what you're really, really wanting, what makes you feel sad, what makes you cry yourself to sleep. Those are like the twigs and the branches of building this creation. These are all little bits and pieces of it. And they are tiny compared to the whole, so it takes time. There's a think about how much work the beaver puts into that creation. That doesn't, yeah, you're like, oh, well, it happened overnight. Yeah, that's nice of you to say. That beaver was up all frickin' night. Like, that beaver put in some solid hours of work. And there was probably 12 of them. And you're just like, oh, that just happened overnight. Like, no, it didn't. It didn't. Nothing happens overnight like that. It does take the work. It does take those details. But doing so, what you're doing, you're not just creating like this haphazard like existence where you're like, oh, it's good enough, I guess. Yeah, that works. That fits, right? No. We're doing purposeful existence. Meaningful existence. That's where joy comes from, when you feel like there's fucking meaning to what you're doing every day when you get up in the morning. You feel like you wake up in the morning and that shit works. Wake up. People care about me. People need me. They count on me. I'm important. I have value here. And it isn't even about what you're doing for other people, but you just feeling that as though your existence matters. It requires putting some things into place and some people into place. If you got shitty friends, you can't really expect to feel like your life has meaning if every time you're spending your extra energy around somebody that doesn't feel it has any meaning. You've gotta take some direct actions here, and it has to be consistent, deliberate. This is not like, you have to stay consistent. Every time you fall off, you do take yourself off course. You can get yourself right back on course, but it really detours your accomplishments when you just kind of keep throwing it off. And it takes a lot of discipline. It's a lot of discipline to stay on track. That's why we create these structures so that you know how to like adapt it to whatever's next. Okay, you're dealing with a breakup. Cool. Not cool, but you're dealing with a breakup. Okay, so you know that there's certain things that are going to trigger you emotionally. You know that social media is not going to be good for you. In fact, you might have to clear some out or even just get off of it entirely for a little while. You know that some things, like messing with your appearance just for fun, experimenting with looks, maybe buy something new, these things all make you feel a little bit better. They're temporary, but they kind of ease the difficult spots. You know that one of the good things, or one of the things that works for some people, is to weigh out the positives and the negatives, and to see, you'll be able to see, then tangibly see like what the reason for the separation was. um, and like my needs weren't being met, or their needs were not being met, whatever the case may be. This is about being very consistent, very deliberate. It's a lot of work, yeah. It's not easy. I definitely, I got my tubes tied, and then I realized that I probably got my tubes tied purely out of relationship and motherhood trauma. And thankfully, in other countries, they can just deposit your own egg right into your womb. So if I change my mind, I'm still good to go. Probably not gonna do that, but I don't know. I don't know why it's popped into my head lately, but it did, and I had to know the answer. So sometimes we take those like, where did that come from, and just run with it and go, I don't know, maybe I should think about this. What else have I done as a reaction to bad shit that's happened in the past? What am I restricting from myself? Why am I assuming that I'm going to have the same experience again with a completely different set of circumstances of certain different people? That's when you take that with you to the next thing. Like that's that baggage people talk about. So it's not a bad idea to freeze your eggs, actually, but I mean, you've got a lot of time too. So you've got a lot of time, and also as I got older. The need to have like a biological child was like less pressing, because spending time with any child on any like emotional level, if you allow yourself to, it does not matter. You will absolutely fall in love with them kids. They will become your children. I have a bunch of children that are not my children. They treat me like I'm their mother, and it's fine with me. Some of them I raised, so, or at least for a few years. My niece definitely sees me as a mother figure, not as her, she doesn't call me her mom or anything, but she sees me as that figure. So, but if you want a family, just trust that you're going to have one. The universe already knows that, because it's made of you. So you don't have to overly plan for the next 50 years. You don't have to plan it, though. You just allow it to. In fact, the more you think about it and overdo it, the more you're making your body find it very difficult to do that. Instead, just know that you're on the verge of preparing for that right now. You're on that journey right now, and that at some point it's going to be fine and it will work out great. And then you'll be a mother at the perfect time. You don't want to be a mother before then, or a father, or a parent. So the Nine of Pentacles comes in the water position. This is where we have charge, the control here. This is the part that we can control. You are in charge of your own destiny, ultimately. And you can manifest your dreams by simply putting the work into it, believing in yourself, focusing your efforts. All of that leads to a situation that is ripe for harvest. It's literally saying, if you want to harvest these things you want, instead of telling yourself, I can't have them, I can't, this is the problem, this, stop, shut yourself up right there and say, I just have to do the work and I'm going to get what I want. So you have to actually, because when you're doubting, you're also giving yourself a reason to not do the work. It's procrastination. So no doubts. You just have to do the work. This is a period of mastery and accomplishment where you are standing and receiving the accolades for the work that you did. So the opportunity is here for you to be celebrated in the work that you did. Now, it might not be like some, national event, but for you, it's going to be a big deal. So that's what you're looking for, right? You want to feel that accomplishment. It's telling you how to get there. It's just not going to tell you that it's going to show up on a silver platter and be like, ta-da! There's your perfect life. It's like, no. It's like, oh, you want this? It looked at me and it said, there's a little something that's still in your brain when you look in the mirror, isn't it? You still don't identify with this body. You can claim that you love it. You can be proud of it. You love who you are. But this body doesn't make you happy, so what the fuck are you doing about it? I was just like, well, hoping for cancer to make me skinny or something, That's a terrible thing to say. But, well, what the fuck was I thinking? That it was just gonna happen while I eat a bag of Cheetos? Like, no. I had to do a lot of fucking work. But now that I've gotten to a certain point and I got into the structure of it and I set my tasks up and I'm focused and consistent on it, I am seeing all of it fall into place in a much bigger scale than I even anticipated. I thought I was just working on this thing, and all these other things that I was manifesting are also falling into place, like they're all connected. I'm just working on me. I'm just focused on me doing my little things. That's that spider web that shows up with 8 of Pentacles. There's it's not in this deck. It's in my other deck. It shows a spider web. And it's like all those interconnected pieces, all of that was done piece by piece by piece. It took a tremendous amount of planning and execution and perfection and patience to get it just right. And you know what? That spider probably, the first couple of webs probably looked like shit. Tore them down, started over. Now the spider puts that work in. You're going to get a nice looking web because you already done some of the work. You saw some reward, did some more work, saw some reward, did some more work. So now it's like asking you to like, what the fuck are you? Well, you thought you were going to just be done one day? No. This goes on forever. Like, this is your life. But there is a period of time where you get to where you go. But this is kind of fun, figuring this stuff out. And taking that next step, because then when you do the thing that you're supposed to be doing, when you put the work in and everything does fall into place and you look at that, it is just this overwhelming pride and joy of like, holy crap, I did it. And it's nothing to do with anybody else. It was you, step by step, the whole way. And it doesn't mean that other people weren't involved or didn't give you some opportunities or some privilege, but nobody's gonna hand you exactly what you want without you. First of all, the work that you put in and the cycles that you go through is how you hone in on what it is that you actually want. I have certain ideals about a type of person that I feel is the best partner for me. And one of the first iterations of this match was too much. It was too much. And I learned a lot on that cycle. And then the next cycle, it was like, it was too little. It was not, it was like, I wasn't what this person wanted, and they weren't giving me what I wanted. But they matched it, and so like I kept trying, but it wasn't working, it wasn't right. And then the next reiteration where I feel like I found this connection that I'm looking for, it wasn't what I thought it would look like, but I kept trying to make it look like the way I wanted it to look like. And it wasn't going to fit, so that just wasn't going to happen, and it ended. But each time I got a little bit closer to like what exactly I was looking for, and what does work for me and what doesn't work for me, and what my boundaries are. And now I have this really solid idea, and I feel very at peace just knowing that if all those other iterations of this idea existed, obviously it exists again. And maybe some more times, I don't know. There's probably more, but I definitely see it again. Only this time I see it different, and I see it as like this might be another cycle, and that's okay too. And then it just feels, I don't know, it just feels less painful to think about not having it right now, because I go, okay, well, the process is fun. Does that mean that I do not want to have, like, I know I want it right now. I want to pick up the phone and be like, rah, and that's not going to help me. It's going to do the opposite. So I definitely have to allow it to just, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I guess we'll see. So yeah, we're receiving these things at some point. We're going to receive what it is that we want. And the success in these things goes on further than you, too. It ripples outward, and it inspires others and beyond, and even the next generation. So there's a big impact that you have when you actually do take the steps and you accomplish your goals, and you reach these things that you're looking for. Other people can look at that and go, there's a blueprint here. There's a plan that does work. Where's Virgil? I was so tempted, and I was just in my own head, and I'm like, I'm not gonna try to like talk about the plan. You make your own plan. There is no plan. You make your own plan every time you go to a new goal. But yeah, you make your own. You're in Earth School. Speaking of Earth School. So yeah, each cycle deepens our experiences that we're here to learn. So you may go, oh, this is adorable. I remember this. I'm scared of this. This went bad. This went bad last time. I'm having a deeper experience this next reiteration, and I'm getting a completely different perspective of it and experience from it. As much as we learn from the I got it right, we also learn from the I got it wrong. And those are just as important. There's a balance there that we're looking for, but more importantly, the got it wrong is where we really push for the real growth. The last time that it went badly, that was what made you actually step it up or feel that you need to step it up, and that's where you're at now. So, so yeah, the opportunities for growth are in the struggle. But in the process of this, it actually kind of softens the heart to the highs and lows of these connections that we have and make, and the growth and the next phase of whatever iteration of your twin flame or soulmate. This can also talk too. This is also like calling forward this necessity for you to continue doing this process, this new study and this new growth. Like you can't just, you're not gonna feel good when you just say I'm done. You're gonna continue, and the most important way for you to continue growing is to connect with other people. We're here to experience relationships with others. And so a big piece of my own personal spiritual growth was limited because of my fears and bad experiences with allowing myself to connect to another person. And I'm not even talking about like a purely romantic way. I'm talking about like just allowing another person to like be your support system in some way. And whatever works for that. And I just wasn't allowing that. I was just, but because of that, I was cutting off this like really important piece of self, and I couldn't figure out why I was depressed or why I was just not getting out of the hole. And then as soon as I started to open myself to various connections, I started to realize that was what I wanted. That was the connection. The connection is what I wanted. That was what I needed. That's what fulfills me. And the other superficial things are just so not important to me. I know now what I was missing in those other cycled relationships, and I also know what I have to do in order to have it in my life. And that has been a huge, huge wake-up call. That's only one way to grow, but that's the big one. It is our interactions with other people. So if you've come out of relationship, the work that you're doing now is on the selves, because it's that cycle time for you to focus on the self. Whereas some people might have just like are coming out of this process of working on the self, like me personally. My cycle is starting up to like, okay, now you should be looking at like a relationship. And I'm like, oh, that's scary. But I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it. But I don't have any control over it, so I guess maybe. I don't know, I could be completely full of shit. Oh, cat. Do you see the cat? She's knocked all my cards down. She's just peeking here. Biddy, you messing it up, Biddy. This is Starbud. She's a twin to Paisley, so yeah, kitty yawn. So yeah, that's Earth School. We're at Earth School. Learn your fucking lessons so that you can advance to the next grade if you want a better relationship next time. Do your homework. Oh, okay. Well, you're knocking everything down. Please don't throw up on you. Yeah, Ben, I feel ya. Okay, so take that 15 months. 10 years. Well, my last non-romantic relationship that was a very close relationship was 5 years ago, so still 5 years. 5 years of not letting anyone in at all. And like barely letting anyone even touch me. It's been a trip. But I tell you what, it's good for the mind. Like I feel like a better like I can be a better partner now. Will you stop my cat? Okay, Ace of Wands. Let me finish these last cards. This is the advice card. What are you supposed to be doing? Act like you are the catalyst here. Claim the power. The potential's all there. You are the conduit. You have the belief, the self-esteem, the vision, the energy, and the force to make shit happen. You just have to actually put it into place. Now this is not build a giant bonfire and then as soon as all the catalysts burn out, then all of a sudden there's no fire anymore and you gotta start over. That's not how you do that. Instead, you actually learn how to build a bonfire. You prepare. You get your resources together. You start small. And then you build and build. And it's a very careful process. Let the flame get a little bit bigger. You add some more fuel. The flame dies down. You let that flame get a little bit bigger. You add some more fuel. That flame dies down. Slowly but surely, you get a bigger and bigger and bigger fire. This is a process, right? I hate it when people are like, you just have to make a wish. No. Okay, I'm not that tarot reader. I'm just never going to be that tarot reader ever. Because I've got too much real life experience, and I use the cards in my own life for my own advice, and I follow them. And when I follow them, my life gets better. My life has never been as good as it is right now. So I believe in what I talk about, and I use experiences of the shit that I go through to try to explain and relay the messages in the cards. So that's my method, and it's not for everybody. Everybody does not listen to Nikki and go, oh, that makes so much sense. It's going to be people that have something that can like relate to, there we go. It'll focus. Focus. Must be a dust thing on. Hang on here. It's a little bit. It'll come back. Refocus. Anyway. You carefully tend to this fire and build this fire and build this fire. But look, will you stop it? Look, here the cat's just gonna be here now. I don't show cards, I show cat. So, but look, if you're drawn in too close, yeah, the cat is just being, this is just Biddy. This is what Biddy does. She wants attention, and this is how she gets it. She says, oh, you're doing tarot? I like cards. She knocks them all off the table. She bats at all things. Anyway, I love this stupid cat, though. She's such a dumb. She's the dumb one. The other one is she pulls all the cards. She knocked them all over. So the Ace of Wands, you're the catalyst. You get too close into the fire that you're building, too, you can become consumed by it. Remember, you might have to, find that balance again. It's really important, though, for you to take some space in your space, like where you exist, right? Make a little corner for yourself to keep the items and images and things that allow you to focus, like to get you back in your mental space when you feel like you're out of it. This is where we have this passionate start to the next phase. You're gonna put your work into it, though. Now this last card is really it doesn't show on that camera. The dragonfly spirit. I love the dragonfly spirit. The reason why I love this card is because it reminds us that it's not always in plain view. A lot of things are hidden in plain sight, right? But sometimes we do need to read between the lines a little bit. The truth will transcend the illusion that you have created in your mind. Whatever you're not getting, it's there. And it's going to come to the surface. And this little bit of wisdom, this little bit of knowing is going to peek out. And you're going to go, oh, this is what I was missing. It's beyond the senses. It's there, though. It's just beyond your senses. This is nature's way of kind of embracing your process and communicating to you, where you'll be you're focused on yourself. You're just doing, okay, the card said to do the things that I need to be doing for me, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I don't know what the fuck is next. I'm just moving along. This is a PG-13 tarot reading. You don't know what's next, but you're focused on yourself. You're taking care of yourself. And all of a sudden, as you're doing this, you just start to get the answers. They start to make sense. as I'm focusing on myself, I'm starting to understand things that I'm missing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing shit. I, I'm, oh, I'm missing a lot. Why? Because I was obsessing over some like image I had in my head instead of just like the acts of working on myself. Because if I would have just been doing that, I would have seen on my peripheral vision here this like thing that was approaching, and instead I got really surprised by it. It screwed up. I don't know what I'm doing. Also, Virgil, no, nobody knows what they're doing. We create a plan. Halfway through the plan, you tear the plan up, throw it away, make a new plan. Sometimes that's what we have to do, and that's okay too. There's no rules. You're making them up as you go. It's your life. That's just your path. Nobody else is on it. So you can rip that plan up as many times as you want. I've done it a bunch of times. I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. And then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to be an artist and a philosopher. And I'll just write books. And then they were like, actually, maybe that. I don't want to do that. But I do want to be an artist. And I like to think. So then I became a tattooist and a body piercer. Actually, I worked in software. Like, so look, yeah. Yeah, it's totally okay though to rework the foundation. Actually, what's interesting is what that says to me is that you haven't quite solidified some of the details. And in that case, what I would do is not try to focus on solidifying those details yet. Lay it out, and if something needs to be removed, remove it. You'll figure out what goes there next. It'll make sense. And just kind of keep working on the things that you do know make sense. I don't like to try to so say my goal is, right now I want my new car. Okay, so there's a few things that need to happen in order for me to get a new car. For one, my income should be a little bit more stable. I need to file my taxes. So I have an updated tax return in case I want to get a small part of it financed. I am planning on trading my vehicle in, and I'm waiting for the tax return money that will help me upgrade the vehicle. So there's a series of steps here that need to be taking place. I need to file my taxes first and foremost to even get the ball rolling. That's the catalyst part. That's just that has nothing to do with the actual getting the car, but it is an important piece of it. It's something that's going to matter. Getting in shape has nothing to do with getting the car, but getting in shape has something to do with some other goals. And as I'm doing all of that falls together, and then it looks like that bigger picture I'm looking at. Love exists in many, many forms, and so if you're not particularly set on something, just allow it to move on, right? We don't know what it's going to look like. And if we try to focus too hard on the specifics, instead focus on what does it feel like and what kind of things feel like smart things to do right now. And that's okay if later you go, well, that wasn't really necessary. Because there was something along the line that was necessary in that process. So you just go with what feels good right now, and then you can change it later. Or you can stop it and redirect whenever you want, but you can still just start working on other things. I would focus directly on the self first, getting into a routine of really strict self-care, and then adding into that. We tend to overlook the unfamiliar, though. If it's not familiar to us, we just don't see it as something that we want. We go, oh, well, that doesn't look exactly like I thought it was, so that's not it. It's but how do you know? It really could be, or there might be something there that you could gain from that, and then your next cycle gets even closer because now you learned more about what you're trying to draw in. Oh, I've had that fear in the past, and that fear is exactly the fear that I was projecting out, which was keeping me from actually finding the relationship. That was blocking me. I no longer fear that I'm going to be forever alone. I absolutely do not think that that's possible. It's not true right now. Even though I'm single, I'm not alone. But yeah, so the idea, as soon as I started saying, like, I'm not going to die alone, there's going to be somebody, and actually I'm not alone at all. There's definitely people around me. I'm definitely not alone, right? These people care about me, and I started to express gratitude for them specifically. And like, yeah, like these people that I have this, right? So I don't have this piece that I'm missing, but I still got this, and some people don't even have this, so I'm really grateful for this. And the more that I was grateful for that, the more I started to feel a connection drawing in that was beyond that. Because I no longer thought, I'm afraid of this happening. It will happen when I'm ready, in good time, with a perfect person. It will fit my needs and their needs, and it will just be. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy all the time. There's going to be work involved, just like everything, but it's just going to feel worthwhile, and it's going to make sense. So yeah, you have to immediately, the first thing that you do at that point is recognize that there is not just one, but probably many, many, many potential great partners for you in the universe. So there's no possible way. The only possible way that you could end up alone is by choice. And otherwise, there's somebody that you're going to draw in that's going to be right for you when you're ready for it, when you're right for it. So right now, because of that feeling, it seems like you're not quite ready. You're not quite right for it because you're still reeling from that uncertainty. There's still that, you're still finishing up that cycle. You're still kind of figuring things out. Some people are a little bit ahead of where you're at. Like, you're at that part where you're just kind of ending that cycle. So now you've got to get your bearings first. And we got to make sure that you're still feeling worth, and deserving of what you want. And then you get to the point where you're like, okay, now I'm ready again. So we're at different stages of this. Not everybody's going to be at the exact same stage, but I do feel that you have the ideas in your head of what that perfect match is. And when you seek out and appreciate those specific qualities in the people that you have around you, you draw more of that in too. So, if you happen to have a friend who, is particularly good at navigating tiny little pieces, it doesn't have to be your whole life. Maybe you have one friend that you navigate like this one part. Okay, I have one like close woman friend that I like actually talk about relationship stuff with. I have more than one woman friend. I have my oldest woman friend it's much more deeper with this person. It's more family, how I feel about myself, what my life is going on. With her it's different. I have a friend that specifically, like, this person is just better at navigating like men than I am. And so a lot of our conversations are oriented around these specific subjects. And then I have another friend that's, so fucking supportive all the time and empowering and encouraging and always talking me up and saying you can do whatever you want, and just always that person that like has my back. And so I have this person here. And so rather than see this void, instead I take all those individual qualities and areas that I actually am excelling in. I'm doing pretty good because I have a person in some of these areas that some people don't, and some people have a partner and they don't get any of that. So I get this in just these friendships, and that's like, what is not to be grateful for there? And the more that I am grateful for that, and I experience those friendships, and I express my gratitude for those friendships, and then I'm seeing more of that showing back up in my life in other ways as well. But first I had to say, I deserve this. I can have this. I don't know what it looks like, and that's okay. But I do know what I want it to feel like. And I'm not gonna pick and choose because I don't know what exactly the thing that I haven't had yet. Yeah, there's certain, I mean, it depends on what you're drawn to. There's certain characteristics that you can break down and realize that they're actually kind of toxic traits, and it's like a trauma attraction or a trauma bonding. And then there's sometimes it's like, no, I'm literally attracted to this because this is a quality I want. I'm just not finding it in the right match. But that's why we go through the cycle, is because each time you learn a new red flag, you learn a new, oh, I like this but not this. It's like I like this type of person but not this type of person. Yeah, no. That is a thing as well. Being empathic, you're automatically drawing in the narcissist automatically. They're all gonna draw. Oh, look at this sweet, caring person. I'm gonna get whatever I can get out of them. Yeah, they know. They know that you've got that good energy. That's what they thrive off of. Those energy vampires are about that life. They're like, oh yeah, I want some of that. Let me get some of that. That knife blood. Wear this chick out too. It's like, they exist. I get a lot of them. I'm very picky about the energy, the people I put my energy in. It has a lot to do with why I also don't have casual sex anymore. It's too much energy and stuff I don't want. But I do think that you're at that point where you're going to start honing this in, and the more that you complete this healing cycle, and the more secure and back grounded that you feel, the more you're going to be pulling in that energy again. That feels like there's what you want out there exists too. Because why not? Of course it does. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of them. There's good people get swarmed with them. And you'll notice like some people will be like really, like they'll be like just amazing people, but they'll just be like burned out on people. Sometimes once they get worn down, they're not good at like detecting the vampires, and so they'll get worn out and taken advantage of, to the point where they start thinking that that's just what it's like. And it's sad to see, because you'll see these like really good people that just have the life sucked out of them by people that act like they're there for them, but they're definitely there for themselves. And then if you happen to be a person that's like loves this person and cares for this person, it's really painful to watch. And there's not much you can do. Like, you can try to make them aware, but they're just mostly going to get a little bit upset with you. You kind of got to wait until they feel and experience the difference between you and those other people. That's the best way. If you feel like you have a friend or a loved one in a situation that is really, really, really what was I talking about? I can't look at my phone at all when anything pops up. So, but yeah. Anyway, I don't remember where I was going. Maybe I'll come back. I'm not going to stress about it. So I can do some personal card draws. I'm not going to stay up super, super late tonight. So I'm definitely open to doing a few, if anyone. Yeah, they're exhausting. Oh, I was talking about watching someone that you love be like sucked alive by these leeches. You have to show them the difference. They have to feel the difference. If you walk away from them, they no longer have the comparison. I had that happen to me. I had somebody walk away from me when I needed to know the difference, so that I could see that I deserved better and that better existed for me. And when they walked away, I didn't see that anymore, and it took a long time for me to figure it out. But if you stick around for those people that are genuinely good people and they're being taken advantage of, try to remain in their life in the best way that you can, and ask them to like have separate experiences with you and be like, I know that you're having a rough time. Come spend some time with me and let's have it different. Let's be different. Let's not be what you've been doing, because that's I feel like you need something different. Can you do that with me? Can we go and spend this time like that? Because when those people have that time with you and they recognize the difference, that's when they go, I don't have to deal with that shit. No, you don't. There is a difference. And then they go, wait a minute. They help learn their own boundaries. When they get to experience somebody that honors their boundaries, they learn their own boundaries. They grow from it. They end up with better people around them. Now you've got better people around your people. It's like, it's just ripples outward. Don't abandon people that you know are genuinely good people, even if they've got shitty people around them. Because there's a lot of them. Oh my lord. Toxic people. I don't use that word lightly. Toxic to me is not like I'm a bad person, or I'm manipulative, or like people are shitty to each other. Like, it doesn't mean that they're fully toxic. Toxic is when you are deliberately using an upper hand, deliberately pushing someone down or oppressing them in some way. It's not always super conscious, but they're lying when they say that they don't know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. That's how they survive. And so, like, when you get to those people are toxic. The toxic, yeah. My ex, my kid's dad, is one of those people that he's not just a person who would be like oh, he's kind of negative. Like, people initially would be like, oh, he's kind of negative, and it's like, oh yeah, he's kind of negative. Wait till you get behind closed doors and you see what that turns into. It's not just that he's a negative person. He would hunt for every single flaw that he could find and exploit it. And it was deliberate and methodical. And it was a process of breaking me down. And I've seen him do it to other people. That is a toxic person. Somebody who's a little bit selfish, maybe they talk too much about themselves and they didn't ask how their friend was today, and that was kind of a shitty thing to do. That doesn't necessarily mean they're toxic. They just need to, be a little bit more conscious. Like, there's a difference. I just feel like people overuse the word a lot, where it gets to, it diminishes the meaning and the importance of identifying those kinds of relationships that actually are damaging to you as a person, and you don't see it and feel it. That's the toxic part. A lot of stuff is toxic and it's not visibly obvious. It is internally damaged. It's slowly getting worse. Slowly getting worse. Whereas a lot of what people call toxic is just this very shallow, superficial, people just being immature, bad friends, like, can that turn into toxicity? Oh yeah. If it's unchecked, if that person never has anyone hold them accountable, that will turn into something worse. But and you just space yourself, because we all have kind of shitty friends. Like, we're all kind of shitty people in a way. We all have our shitty thing. I've surrounded myself now in close friends where we all just kind of like own the shit that we've done immediately. Like, I'm sorry I haven't talked to you. It's been this. You know how I am. I do this, and I'm very sorry again that I've done this to you. Can I talk to you? And it's to the point where it's like, shut up. Like, I know you disappear. You're a shitty friend. Yeah, no, Steve. Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. I'd be like, no, I keep having one of my exes pop into my head, and there is some lessons that were learned in that relationship that I think are coming more forward, and I have to make sure that I'm identifying my own needs and being clear about my own needs. And I was like, I think I know why I keep thinking about this, because this was a time that I didn't express myself the way that I should have. And the way that I went about trying to get this person to share their feelings with me was somewhat damaging to the relationship, and then it spiraled out of control from there. So I think I know why it came up, and that's why I'm here talking about tarot cards instead of obsessing. So much fun. Shadow work. It's all shadow work. I always say that when I'm talking about, like, tarot cards are all shadow work. Like, you can use them to do frivolous things, but if you're really getting into them, you're gonna be a better person after you do the work. Because in the process of doing the work, you're a better person just because you're already doing more than some people do. Like, but anyway, you're already doing better than some. Good job. Seriously though, I do commend anyone who takes any time to listen to anyone talk about any kind of bullshit at all that has anything to do with being better at what you're doing. It takes a lot of courage to address that maybe you do need to work on something in the first place. And the attraction. And it's because we get these cross signals. It's like, here's a thing that I am attracted to that's good and wholesome, and then it'll be like sometimes attached to some kind of more toxic trait. And you'll find that you'll see a lot of different versions of that, but the real thing that you're looking for is gonna not quite be like so obviously give and take, but there's gonna be balance to it, but it's not gonna be so obviously skewed. That's what the word I'm looking for. It's not gonna be so obviously skewed. One of the I don't even know what word I want to use. One of the things that I recognized that had been occurring with my last significant connection with any human being at all, it was a lot of give. I gave and gave and gave, and I was not being reciprocated, and I became very bitter about it. And I've recognized now that, like, I don't know what expectations I had, but I certainly wasn't clear about them. And it's just very important to me now to be a lot more aware of, like, how I view communication in whatever way that it comes to me, and learning that my communication style is not the same as another person's either, and they might show their love and affection or expression in another way, and I have to be open to accepting that as well. If I want my needs met, it doesn't mean that they're always going to come, but what I'm finding is that sometimes when those needs are met in a different way than you were expecting, when you didn't try to control the detail, that there's actually, you're going to find something that you didn't expect that you would like. For me personally, one of the things that I'm realizing, I've always considered myself a person who thought romance was gross, and now I'm like, it's really cute. It's fucking cute. I hate it. I don't hate it though. I like it, and I guess I want some of that. Now, I didn't think that anyone would ever feel that way about me, but now I'm like, why did I think that? Of course somebody could feel that way about me. I'm the one that doesn't. It's not romantic. That doesn't mean I don't deserve it. So now I've just started to be a little bit more open to the idea that, like, maybe I should. It's kind of like the kid that, like, decides based on tasting one thing that they don't like anything that comes even close to that thing for their whole lives. They never try another food again. Try the food again later. Try the food again 5 years later, 10 years later. Keep trying new foods. Keep experimenting. Because you'll find that not only will your taste change, your understanding and your palate will change. The way that you put things together will change. The way that they complement each other will change. And all these things changing means that down the road, you might not like broccoli when you were a kid, but when you're like 35, you might think it's pretty dope. I happen to love broccoli. You know, the way that you're putting the things together and the way that you view them is all going to change. So don't completely say, I don't like this, I don't want this. Be open to seeing it in a different way than what you didn't see. It doesn't mean we're talking about like, oh, I'm completely unattracted to this person, but they have this quality, so therefore I'm going to like try to. No, it will make sense. It will all fit together and make sense. I'll be like, oh, I have this natural draw to this person, and here's this quality I enjoy. Oh, this is nice quality. I see there's this little thing attached to it. Well, you know what? I don't know. This might be okay. This might work out. This might be balance. This might be what I'm looking for. I do like this wig. Just every once in a while, I glance back at the preview and I'm like, oh, I have blue hair. My hair will not go this color naturally. It's too weak to undergo that level of lightening in order to be blue. The one thing that will happen to my hair is if I even make any attempt to do this, it's going to probably end up more purple. Because I have natural red tones underneath, and so everything that gets put there. The only way that I can get my hair like blonde, it turns bright fucking yellow. It does not turn like white. Like, it's not possible. Sunshine yellow is what color my hair turns when you bleach it, and it turns super brittle and falls off. So yeah, and it doesn't matter. My Dee Dee actually, her mother is a professional stylist, so she grew up in a beauty salon, and we have done numerous attempts. My biggest problem is that I put box black in. She hates that. But we've tried to lift it out, and even when I'm working on natural hair, it still looks red. So some colors aren't for me, but heck yeah to wigs. I never even considered wigs before. See, new things all the time. The other thing I was thinking about as I was talking to a friend about feeling, insecure about like the extra skin and stuff that I'm gonna have, because I've been fat my whole life, so I have a lot of skin. But then I was like, oh, I can have plastic surgery. I've never even considered plastic surgery for myself. I was just like, oh, you're fat, why would you have plastic surgery? And now I'm like, oh my god, why would anybody think that? Yeah, definitely want to be nice to your hair. Sometimes it's just worth it to spend the money on someone to do it for you. My hair is to the point where it's just not going to take it, and 600 to 800 calories a day right now. I'm barely getting my nutrients in as it is. It's quite an effort, so I'm not going to tax my hair anymore. But sometimes it just needs time in the process. Time, like a color lifter, and then a bleach. You put time in between it, then it works out. It's just that process. I'm not patient. Like, I don't want to have orange hair. I don't like orange hair, and that's what my hair does. So yeah. Definitely. It's already getting towards 11. Yeah, I'm not gonna stay up too much later. The cat knocked all my cards down, so I will respond to not Buck when I'm done though. 100, that's cheap. Shit. Some of them like $200 to get my hair that color. And I don't even have that much hair. Yeah, no. I get it. I destroyed my hair from that, so I can't do it no more. It's not gonna work. I used to fry the shit out of my hair though to achieve absolutely insane colors. I used to be a shade of luscious raspberry that just was to die for. It was just such a pretty color. And I had to work very hard at being very pale. Being very pale to make that color work for me. Because you see a little bit of redness. This is from like a little bit of allergic reaction. So if I was pink and then my hair was pink, it's not cute. I hated it. Oh well. But yeah, so yeah, if there is any yeah, you do have more fair hair. My hair is like a darker auburn, so I have pretty dark hair. Pretty dark hair. I feel like I should, like, I don't want to interrupt my cat's nap here. Like, I'm doing these, I can't read your tarot tonight. My cat is sleeping on the table. I'm sorry. But yeah, I will respond. And if, again, always open to doing longer readings. So if that's what you're actually looking for, probably won't do it tonight, but I can do it tomorrow when I get up. So if that's what you'd like, it's like a longer, more detailed personal reading. I will do that in the morning and give you some more clear insight of your issue specifically. But I do feel like there's, I don't know, I always feel like the general readings have enough. If you were looking to go on, looking for something to start with, that would be a good place to start. And then taking your thoughts out of that obsessive place, it's not doing you any good. I know, because I do it all the time. And I was doing it this morning and crying, ugly crying, because I woke up and there was no response. And then I was like, guess what? You're not getting one. And I was like, and I realized, I was like, you know what though? This is a cycle repeating. And what did you do last time when you didn't get what you wanted? You tried to control the situation. And you ruined it. So I was like, oh, so instead, I'm gonna do is work on me, and all the answers will make sense. I cannot think about that thing that I cannot control. It doesn't do me any good. I can only work on the stuff that I can control. So yeah, a lot of crying. Just because I wanted to say something in the moment when I had the opportunity to, and I was too scared to say it. And then I was like, well, was I too scared to say it, or was it just because I wasn't supposed to say it then and I was supposed to wait? And then I was like, I missed an opportunity. But I didn't. I don't think I did. I think it just isn't supposed to be yet. It's just supposed to be down the road, and when it is down the road, then it will make sense then. Reading between the lines has been a little bit more helpful. I was hoping to get a little bit clarity from another person. I don't think they want to get involved, and that's okay. It's not their place. So this is my mess. My big, ugly, emotional mess. But I have really high hopes and potential for the release is important. Is it fun? No. But does that mean you have to like only do that? No. You get that out and then move on. I think that's the hard part, is like getting past feeling like you're stuck in that circle. Like you gotta know how to get back, like just do it, and then what's next? And like, okay. So you're definitely not alone there. Sorry. Tears. I cried like half the day. Like the whole first part of the day was this amazing conversation, and I was like, wow, like what's happening here? This is okay. This is good. Yeah, it's good, right? And then it went bad. I don't even know what I did. I am so confused. Anybody that comes into this chat room is gonna wonder, like, where are the tarot cards? All I see is this cat's butt. I hope you enjoy my cat butt tarot. I'm gonna go cry some more now because I still haven't got a response. Just want one. Just want one heart emoji. Just give me one heart emoji so I know it's okay. Yeah. This cat's like, I'm better than you. First of all, I'm not afraid of love. This cat's mocking me. Mocking my fear. My fear of being loved. Because love is the only emotion. Everything else is the opposite. Oh yeah. Definitely. The green screen behind me is she's such a nutcase. This cat, when we got her, I got both cats together. They're sisters, and they were in the same sack together, placental sack together. So when I first met them, like the one like bumbled out on top of everyone else, and then she came out at the end, like tripping over her own feet, and just like, I know, I'm not making fun. She just was slow. She's a little slow, and she runs into stuff a lot. She's very clumsy, and she has. Let me see your peaks. Let me see. She's like, I'm gonna let you see my. Can you see them in the camera? She has really furry toes, and she slides all over everything, so she runs into shit and falls off of shit constantly. She's got these big old freaking round jade colored green eyes, so she's super cute, and then she's clumsy, and she almost looks like a midget cat. I don't understand it. But that's her. No, I don't ask. Hi, baby. Like, I guess if I'm gonna just sit here and stream, I'll hang out with my cat. One of them, anyway. One of my cats. One cat. I don't know if you can be cute yet. See if she does it again. She'll raise her hand and tell you she wants to be petted. Do you want to be petted? Yeah. Show me how you do it. Show me how you do it. Bit. Yeah, she's the slow one. Paisley's like a ninja. She's super graceful and she's super athletic. And she tears shit up every night. She's like feisty and bad. And this one is just like mostly super lovey, but she's actually a bully. She bullies. She uses her weight to push around Paisley. She's bigger, but she's slower. Paisley's like lean and lanky. So yeah, I guess this has turned into the cat stream. Good time. Mimi. Oh, she's pretty. Look at the purse. Okay, we're done here. She's knocking all my shit over. I mean, let me answer these messages. I guess I'm not doing no card pulls tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I love you both. I will, she's petting herself. She does this when you don't pet her, when you stop. It's so funny. It's just yeah, I will, I'm gonna get back to you. Not pumpkin ways. There, this, I got like a hair. But much love to you both, and definitely, yeah, I will, get back to you, and then we'll talk about that stuff. And maybe some more tomorrow night. Even more. But yeah, get some rest. Some rest. Tomorrow's a new day. We have to put a plan in action. If you know anybody who happens to be interested in getting a tarot reading, please send them my way. Campsite.bio /NikiAnarchy. They can find all the means of contacting me and reaching out. If they're interested, they can hit up my Facebook page, my Instagram, whatever. I don't care, whatever works. So yeah, they need some guidance. I'm more than happy to provide it with my cat. 2 cats, 2 dogs. It's never boring around here. Now I gotta go back to Moo. He needs another back massage too. So much love, much love. So yeah, anybody interested? Ooh, I like these chairs. They're not in front of my face. That's nice. I like this layout. It works. So moving right along. Anyway, tomorrow night. See you then. Definitely have people check out the channel. I love trying to get some new folks to come hang out and chitty chat with us about all kinds of fun stuff. Night does not seem like the poppin' night. But good evening. Much love. Easy.